Good morning, and welcome to my Cloffice. This morning, I would like to talk to you about what are you focused on? Like, what are you looking at? There's a story, and maybe you've heard it before, about this king who has these two advisors. And he calls one into his office and he says, I would like you to go out to my whole kingdom and find all the weeds. Find them and document where all the weeds are throughout my kingdom. You have 3 days. I will see you in 3 days. So he sends him out. Then he calls the other advisor into his room and he says, I would like you to find all the beautiful flowers, find out all the different colors that are there, all the different scents and aroma. I'd like you to document it all, and you have 3 days, and then come back to tell me where all the flowers are, what they look like, what colors they are, what fragrance are there. You have 3 days. I'll see you in 3 days. So over the next 3 days, advisor number 1 goes out, and sure enough, he's finding weeds everywhere, all through the kingdom, and he's documenting that. Advisor number 2 goes out all through the kingdom, 3 days, documenting all the flowers. Then they come back to the king, and so he has both of them sitting down. And advisor number 1, oh, king, this is terrible. Your kingdom is so full of weeds. It's awful. They're everywhere. They're down Main Street. They're this way. They're that way. The north, the south, the east, and the west. There are just weeds, 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 weeds. And advisor number 2 is like, what are you talking about? I was out in the kingdom, and there were so many beautiful flowers. There were red ones and yellow ones. There were magenta flowers, and they smelt amazing, and they were everywhere. What you look for is what you find. What you focus on is what you see. What you listen for is what you hear. So today, what are you looking at in your life? What are you looking at in your community? What are you looking at in the people around you, in your church, in your family? If you're in the U.S. and you're celebrating Thanksgiving this weekend, you'll be looking at your family and your friends, perhaps. What are you looking at? Are you looking at Christ in them, even if they don't know him yet, but they were created in his image? Or are you looking at all their baggage, all their rubbish, all their attitude? What are you focused on? We need to be focused on the Lord, because then wherever we are, we see what the Lord is doing. We see the goodness of the Lord when we're focused on him and when that's what we're looking for. You have such a great purpose, and your purpose is to fulfill the will of God. Just like Jesus was fulfilling what God told him to do, you are called to fulfill what God's telling you to do. So whether you're with your family, whether you're at work, whether you're out in the community, whether you're in school, you are a shining light for Jesus. That is what you were created to be. So look out for what God has you to do, for what God has you to see, for what God has you to hear. And be that shining light for Jesus. It will change your perspective, whether you see weeds or flowers, depending on what you're looking for. So I encourage you today, look for flowers. Look for the sweet smelling aroma of the Lord working around you, and see what he has for you to do. Have a wonderful day, and God bless.